Do you ever feel exhausted and you don't even know why? It's not always your job or your sleep. Sometimes it's the habits we don't even notice. In the modern age, our thoughts are constantly pulled in every direction. We overshare, take on others' feelings, dwell on past wounds, wear ourselves out trying to gain favor, and chase approval from places that offer only fleeting comfort. This is what drains our energy and makes it hard to find the path to tranquility. The Buddha once said, "As a mountain stands firm against the wind, so too does a person of understanding stay steady through both criticism and praise." Today, I'm breaking down 10 toxic habits that are secretly draining your energy and how to cut them out, starting now. 1. Being around negative people and absorbing their negative energy. The world holds a great deal of pain, and it's only natural to feel empathy for those who are suffering. But there is a crucial distinction between feeling compassion and becoming overwhelmed by what others carry. Many of us unconsciously absorb the anger, grief, and frustration of those around us, mistaking it for our own. The Buddha encouraged a form of detachment, not coldness or disconnection, but a wise boundary that allows us to be present without being pulled under. Take George, for example. He was the kind of person everyone turned to when they needed to vent. His friends, co-workers, even distant relatives seemed to offload their problems onto him like he was their emotional landfill. George listened patiently, always trying to be helpful, but over time he began to feel constantly tired, anxious, and burdened. The negativity wasn't his, but it stuck to him all the same. He started to dread phone calls and social gatherings, unsure why he felt so emotionally heavy afterward. Eventually, George realized he wasn't helping anyone by drowning in their emotions. He was just losing himself in the process. George's turning point came when he discovered mindfulness and the teachings of detachment. He learned to be there for others without internalizing their pain. He began visualizing a boundary around his energy, reminding himself that empathy didn't require emotional sacrifice. Slowly, he started to reclaim his peace, not by shutting people out, but by staying grounded in his own presence. Just like the lotus that blooms in muddy water, yet remains unstained, we too must learn how to support others while staying rooted in our own calm. When you notice yourself taking on someone else's emotional weight, pause and ask, is this truly mine to hold? Am I here to carry their pain, or simply to witness and support them with love? You can offer presence and compassion without losing your balance. Imagine yourself encased in a gentle shield of light. This is your energy, your peace. You can share warmth and kindness, but you do not have to suffer with them to be helpful. Real compassion isn't about draining yourself. It's about helping others find strength without abandoning your own. 2. Chasing external validation. Don't chase recognition, chase wisdom. One of the most draining habits we fall into is the constant pursuit of external approval. We tailor our words, our behavior, and even our dreams to fit what we think others want to see. We become performers in our own lives, seeking applause instead of living our truth. But as the Buddha taught, external validation is like the wind, here one moment, gone the next. Today they cheer, tomorrow they criticize. If your sense of worth relies on the shifting opinions of others, then your peace will always be fragile, held hostage by the moods and judgments of the outside world. Take Adam, for instance. A talented designer, Adam spent years chasing the compliments of his peers and clients. Every project he took on wasn't driven by passion or purpose, but by the desire to be admired. He checked social media obsessively for likes, tailored his style to please others, and constantly compared himself to his more popular colleagues. The result? He felt empty, exhausted. No matter how much recognition he got, it was never enough, because he had forgotten to ask the most important question: do I even like the work I'm doing? Adam's turning point came during a quiet retreat, away from the noise and opinions of the world. There, he asked himself for the first time, am I living for myself or for everyone else? That moment of clarity changed everything. He began to create from a place of joy, not performance. He started seeking truth instead of praise. Slowly he found peace, not in the reactions of others, but in the alignment between his values and his actions. So ask yourself, do I need applause to feel worthy? Or can I learn to accept myself just as I am? True happiness doesn't live in the outside world. It grows from within, from self-awareness, purpose, and the quiet courage to walk your own path, even if no one else is watching. 3. Saying yes when you mean no. People-pleasing is an energy thief. Every fake yes is a no to yourself. From a young age, many of us are taught that saying yes is a virtue. It's seen as polite, generous, selfless. We're praised for being agreeable, admired for putting others first. But what we're rarely taught is the quiet wisdom of knowing when to say no. The Buddha cautioned against clinging too tightly to duty and obligation. Instead, he taught the middle way, a path of balance and awareness, where kindness to others never comes at the cost of abandoning yourself. Saying yes to everything may appear noble, but over time it leads to burnout. You give and give until there's nothing left. No energy, no joy, no space to breathe. And from that empty place, even your most sincere efforts become strained. Practice saying, "Let me get back to you." That buys you time and preserves your power. Before committing to yet another task, another favor, another demand on your time, pause and ask yourself, am I saying yes because I truly want to, or because I'm afraid to disappoint? Will this decision uplift me or drain me? What would it look like to protect my own well-being instead? Sophia was the kind of woman who never said no. She volunteered for every committee, stayed late at work, hosted events, ran errands for family. Even when her tank was running on fumes, she wore the mask of being endlessly capable, but inside she was unraveling. Stress kept her up at night, and she felt invisible in her own life. One day, after missing her own birthday dinner because someone else needed her, she broke down. That night, she made a quiet vow. No more yes at the expense of myself. It wasn't easy at first, but with time, Sophia learned to set boundaries with kindness. She began saying no, not out of resistance, but out of self-respect. And, surprisingly, the world didn't fall apart. It got better. She was present, peaceful, and finally living in alignment with what mattered most to her. There is power in a mindful no. It doesn't make you rude or uncaring, it makes you conscious. Saying no with compassion and clarity is an act of self-care, not selfishness. Your time, your energy, your inner peace, these are not resources to be given away without thought. They are sacred. And when you protect them, you show up more fully, more joyfully, and more authentically for the people and causes that truly matter. 4. Overthinking everything. We've all been there, lost in our thoughts, going over the same situation again and again, convinced that if we just think a little harder, we'll find the perfect answer. But overthinking isn't clarity. It's mental noise disguised as productivity. The Buddha taught the value of stillness, of being fully present in the moment. But when the mind is constantly spinning, caught in what-ifs and should-haves, we lose touch with that peace. Overthinking keeps us in a cycle of worry. It tells us we're being responsible, but in truth, it's often fear trying to control the uncontrollable. Not every problem needs to be solved right now. Not every decision is life or death, and not every thought is worth believing. Anna used to live in her head. Every choice, no matter how small, became a source of stress. She'd second-guess everything she said in conversations, analyze text messages for hidden meanings, and stay up late wondering if she was doing enough. It wasn't that she lacked intelligence, she just didn't know how to stop. One day she realized she was spending more time thinking about life than actually living it. So she began practicing mindfulness, journaling her thoughts instead of clinging to them. Slowly, she learned to release the need for certainty and discovered a calm she hadn't felt in years. When you notice yourself spiraling into overthinking, pause and ask, is this helping me or just wearing me out? Am I solving something real or feeding my fear? Let go of the idea that you need all the answers before you move forward. Trust that some clarity only comes through action, not analysis. You don't have to think your way to peace. Sometimes peace comes when you stop thinking and start being. Your mind is powerful, but so is your ability to quiet it. Choose presence over perfection, and trust that not everything needs to be figured out right now. 5. Gossiping. Gossip is often disguised as harmless conversation, a way to bond, share, connect. But beneath the surface, it carries a weight that's heavier than we realize. Every time we speak about someone behind their back, we give away a part of our peace. We invest our energy in things that don't nourish us. We allow our focus to drift from growth to judgment, from understanding to assumption. And slowly we begin to feel it, that quiet exhaustion, that subtle unease. The Buddha taught that wise speech is one of the pillars of the path to inner peace. Not because silence is always better, but because words carry power. What we say about others reflects what's going on within ourselves. Gossip is rarely about truth. It's often about insecurity, comparison, and ego. And it's not just when we speak it. Listening to gossip drains us too. It pulls us into negativity, planting seeds of distrust and judgment in our minds. Consider this. Have you ever left a conversation where gossip was the focus and felt truly uplifted? Diana used to find herself surrounded by drama, at work, in her friend groups, even in her family. Gossip was the norm, shared with a laugh, a shrug, a sense of belonging. But over time, she noticed something deeper. After those conversations, she felt tense, distracted, even anxious. Her thoughts swirled with other people's business. She realized this wasn't connection. It was a leak in her energy. So she made a quiet shift. She changed the subject, walked away when needed, and chose depth over drama. It didn't make her popular, but it gave her peace. When tempted to gossip, pause and ask, is this kind? Is this necessary? Is this true? And most of all, is this a good use of my energy? Guard your words. Even more, guard your attention. Because where your energy goes, your life follows. Let others talk small. You talk light, talk truth, talk growth. Protect your peace. It's far too valuable to waste on noise. 6. Oversharing your personal life. There is a quiet strength in knowing when not to speak. In today's world of constant updates and open timelines, we're often encouraged to share everything: our thoughts, our pain, our dreams, our plans. But with every detail we expose, we hand over pieces of our inner world to others, some who may care deeply, and others who may misuse, misunderstand, or judge what we reveal. The Buddha spoke of right speech, not just about honesty, but about discernment. He taught that our words should be rooted in mindfulness, spoken only when they are necessary, kind, and beneficial. When we share from a place of insecurity or ego, we invite noise. But when we learn to hold space within ourselves, we cultivate clarity and power. Liam used to share everything: his struggles, his relationships, his goals, even his mistakes were open for anyone to hear. He believed that being real meant being completely transparent. But over time, he noticed a pattern. People gave unsolicited advice, some twisted his words, and others simply lost respect. The more he opened up, the more he felt exposed and drained. One day, a private matter he had shared in confidence came back to him in a way that shook his trust. That was his turning point. Liam began to practice quiet strength, speaking less, observing more, and sharing only with those who truly earned his confidence. In doing so, he found something he never had before: peace. Before you share, pause and ask yourself, is this truly necessary for them to know? Will this serve anyone, or am I speaking just to be seen? Is this wisdom, or is this ego in disguise? Not everyone deserves access to your private world. Let your actions speak. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Those who master silence often carry the deepest truths. Protect your energy. Share with intention. Speak with purpose. You are not hiding your life. You are honoring its sacredness. 7. Holding on to past. Holding on to pain is like carrying a burning coal in your bare hands, hoping to one day throw it at someone who hurt you. But, as the Buddha wisely said, you're the one who gets burned. So many of us replay old betrayals, nurse old wounds, and hold on to resentment as if it somehow gives us control over what happened. But the truth is, we're only reliving the pain. The past cannot be changed, only accepted, and yet we often waste our energy trying to rewrite it in our minds over and over again. The Buddha taught that all things are impermanent: joy, sorrow, success, suffering. When we cling to moments that are gone, we become trapped in time that no longer exists. It's like trying to hold water in a tightly clenched fist. The harder we grip, the faster it escapes us. Noah, a young student, knew this struggle too well. After a bitter falling out with a close friend, he carried that anger with him for years. He replayed their final conversation every night, thinking of all the things he should have said. It affected his trust, his mood, even his ability to form new connections. One day, exhausted by his own thoughts, he asked himself, "What has this grudge really given me, except pain?" That was the start of his healing. He didn't excuse what happened, but he chose to stop carrying it. With time, Noah let go, not for his old friend's sake, but for his own peace. Ask yourself honestly, Does holding on to this bring me any closer to peace? Or does it keep me anchored in pain? What would happen if I stopped rehearsing the past and started living the present? Who might I become without this burden? Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or accepting harm. It means choosing freedom. It means saying, "This no longer controls me." So breathe, let go, and step forward lighter than you've been in years. Your past shaped you, yes, but it does not have to define you. 8. Poor sleep hygiene. In a world that celebrates hustle and constant activity, rest is often treated like a luxury rather than a necessity. But the truth is simple. Without proper sleep, your energy, your clarity, and even your sense of peace begin to fade. The Buddha taught that balance is the key to a meaningful life. He spoke of the middle path, a way of living that avoids both excess and neglect. Yet so many of us neglect one of our most essential needs: sleep. Poor sleep hygiene isn't just about staying up late. It's about overstimulating our minds with screens, consuming information until the moment we close our eyes, and treating rest like an afterthought. Over time, this wears down not just the body, but the spirit. When you rob yourself of rest, you slowly drain your emotional resilience, your patience, and your joy. Oliver was constantly tired. He told himself he was just a night owl, but in truth, his sleep habits were chaotic. He'd scroll through his phone in bed, answer late-night emails, and fall asleep with the TV still playing. Every morning felt like climbing out of a fog. Coffee became a crutch, but it couldn't replace real rest. It wasn't until he started waking up anxious and burned out that he took a step back. With effort, Oliver began building a wind-down routine. No screens an hour before bed, soft lighting, meditation, and sleeping at the same time each night. The transformation was quiet but powerful. His energy returned. So did his focus and his sense of calm. Ask yourself, am I honoring my need for rest? Or am I sacrificing it for distractions that don't serve me? Good sleep isn't a weakness. It's a foundation. When your body rests, your mind clears. When your mind clears, your spirit rises. Treat sleep as sacred. Protect it with intention, because no dream can flourish if the dreamer is always tired. 9. Not moving your body, stagnant energy. Your body was made to move. It is not just a vessel, it is a bridge between your mind and spirit. And when you stop moving, something within you begins to slow, fade, and dim. You may not feel it right away, but over time, the stillness creeps in. Not peace, but stagnation. We often associate energy with rest, but true energy is also awakened through motion. The Buddha taught balance, not a life of extremes, but one of rhythm. And movement is part of that rhythm. Walking, stretching, breathing deeply, these simple acts reconnect you with the present moment. They release stress from the body, unclutter the mind, and stir the soul. Inactivity may feel comfortable at first, especially when life is heavy, but over time it becomes a silent thief. It steals your strength, clouds your clarity, and weighs down your spirit. James once lived entirely in his mind. He worked long hours at a desk, told himself he was too tired to exercise, and spent evenings scrolling in bed. Days blurred together. His back ached, his energy dipped, and he began to feel disconnected from himself, from others, even from joy. Then, one morning, he took a short walk just to clear his head. It felt insignificant at first, but something shifted. That walk became a daily ritual. Soon he added stretching, then light movement each morning. Slowly, James began to return to himself, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Movement became his medicine. You don't need to run marathons or join a gym. Just begin. Stretch in silence, walk under the trees, breathe deeply and feel your body come alive again. Ask yourself, am I nourishing my body with stillness or starving it of life? To move your body is to remind yourself, I am here, I am alive, I am capable of change. Your energy is not just in your thoughts, it's in your breath, your steps, your stretch. Start moving and watch your whole life begin to flow again. 10. Multitasking. We often believe that multitasking is a sign of strength, a way to manage busy lives and endless demands. But the truth is, constantly dividing your attention doesn't make you more productive. It leaves you more drained. Every time you shift your focus between your phone and a conversation, a chore and a thought, you lose a bit of energy. Your mind never fully arrives. You're everywhere and yet nowhere. This constant mental switching pulls you away from the present moment, and over time, it steals your clarity, peace, and joy. The Buddha taught the value of mindfulness, doing one thing at a time with full presence. That is where your energy multiplies, when it is focused, not fractured. Jennifer, a mother of 2 young children, lived in a constant state of multitasking. She would prepare lunch while responding to work emails, fold laundry while half listening to her kids, scroll through her phone during bedtime stories. She was always getting things done, but never felt fully connected. One evening, her daughter said, "Mommy, you're not really here." That moment hit hard. Jennifer started slowing down. One task, one moment, one breath at a time. Life didn't get easier, but it got richer. Her energy returned, not because she did less, but because she did things with presence. Ask yourself, am I present or just performing tasks? Reclaim your energy by focusing on now, because your peace lives in presence, not in doing more, but in being here. If this stirred something in you, pause, breathe. Let it sink deeper than your thoughts, into the part of you that's been waiting to feel seen. The truth is, the habits that drain us don't shout. They whisper, they blend in. But once you're aware, you can't unsee. And that awareness, that's where your power begins. You don't need to fix everything today. Just take one step, untangle one thread, call your energy back, piece by piece. Because peace isn't found by striving, it's remembered, like a place your soul already knows. If this touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, share this with someone who's quietly carrying too much. You never know what light your click could pass on. Your energy is sacred. Guard it fiercely. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, be kind to your spirit and walk like you're returning home.